The term load management has become such a hot button in the NBA.
How I know you were going to talk about that one?
Because you played 80 games a lot. A lot. You played 82. What do you think of when you hear the term load management thrown around?
It shouldn't be needed, first and foremost. You know, I never wanted to miss a game because it was an opportunity to prove. It was something that I felt like, you know, the fans are there to watch me play. I want to impress that guy way up on top who probably worked his ass off to get a ticket or to get money to buy the ticket.
You really cared about the guy who sat in the top deck at the Palace in Auburn Hills to watch you when you came to Detroit?
Yeah, because I know he's probably yelling at me, and I want to shut him up. You know, he's calling me all kinds of names. I definitely want to shut him up.
Right.
You have a duty that if they're wanting to see you, and as an entertainer, I want to show. Right? So if the guys are coming to watch me play, I don't want to miss that opportunity. Now, physically, if I can't do it, then I can't do it. But physically, if I can do it, and I just don't feel like doing it, that's a whole different lens.
So give me the...
So that was MJ on load management. Welcome to another edition of The Core. It's been a while. Now that the NBA season has officially begun, there's more stuff to talk about. But that was MJ talking about load management. I'm going to get to that in a few seconds. But of course, season started off with Houston and Oklahoma City. And funny enough, last year I watched like 2 NBA games in total. And 90% of my viewing was before the playoffs, was, of course, the highlights on YouTube, the 10 to 15 minute highlight clips. Of course, the playoffs began. I started watching my Knicks all the way to the last game that they lost in Game 6 versus Indiana. And then, of course, for the first time in a long time, I watched the NBA Finals in its entirety from Game 1 to 7. Of course, got to watch my Canadian boys. Lou Dort, Andrew Neymar, of course, SGA. Am I forgetting? Of course, Benedict Mathurin. Not Mathurin, folks. I know you keep hearing it on TV from the American media. His name is not Benedict Mathurin. It's Mathurin. Mathurin. Not Maturin. Because, anyways. But, yeah, that was the whole objective for me when I watched the finals. And, of course, it was 2 good teams, too. Well coached. I mean, Rick Carlisle back in the finals. I mean, just a whole plethora of things that was going on. Of course, now that the season is back, I watched actually the whole last couple minutes of the third quarter, fourth quarter of the opening game between OKC and Houston, and of course the 2 overtimes, which of course OKC won. If you want to know the score and stats, pull out your phone, your tablet, or whatever, and go check it out, because I know 90% of you have a phone and 90% of you play on your phone. So if you got the time, if it's important, you can go check the stats. I'm not doing that. But I just want to talk about just a couple of things that have come up in the NBA so far this year. First, of course, the whole gambling thing that came out. The names that were mentioned so far were Chauncey Billups, Damian Jones, and of course, Terry Rozier. I'm not going to get into full details, because if you guys want details of what the FBI has found, their findings, and all of the whole investigation itself, go check online. It's available online. I know while you're scrolling on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, I'm sure you all could take a couple of minutes to actually go check out how this is. I'm not going to report all of it. They are all allegations. Until these people are all prosecuted to the respectful level of the law, which is probably not going to happen based on the color of their skin. Let's just be real. We're not going to say they're guilty or anything. I'm not going to do that, because there are politicians all across the world who do the same damn thing and are chilling right now. Embezzle money, and they are chilling right now. So we're not going to sit here and backlash and backtalk these 3 guys. There are people out there that are running countries, running organizations that have done 10 times worse and have walked without a scratch. So But as far as the NBA season thus far, of course, OKC just got to 6-0 tonight. I think they beat Washington easily. The Raptors have struggled. My Knicks have struggled a little bit. They got some kinks that they need to hash out. But, let me get to the load management, then I'll get to the other NBA stuff. MJ made his comments, and I agree with him because I'm an old school guy. I remember watching NBA on TNT like a Thursday night, and they're playing Milwaukee. This was like the days of Terry Cummings and all those other guys that used to play for Milwaukee when nobody cared about Milwaukee. MJ played. He came out and he balled. He did what he had to do. Scotty came out. I mean, Bill Cartwright and Craig Hodges, those guys came out and played. There were no excuses. There were no oh, well, I don't think I want to play, or it just came out and play. Now, here's my thing on load management, and I'm going to be very clear because I know some people are very in their feelings about this. My thing on load management is this. If you're legitimately hurt, I'm not going to say a goddamn thing. I'm not going to say nothing. Why would I? If you're hurt, you're hurt. If you can't play, you can't play. There are some guys that are injury prone. Give you a perfect example of a guy that cannot stay healthy at all. Anthony Davis. A guy that was in the league and now is out of the league, Chandler Parsons. He could not stay healthy at all. Those guys were legitimately hurt. I totally understand that these guys are hurt and they need the time off. But there are some guys that just feel oh, I'm playing back-to-backs. Oh, I'll pick which one I want to play and I'll take the other one off. What? But you don't take time off your social media. Don't take time off these internet women. You don't take time off the foolishness, but you'll take time off a game that somebody just spent $400 a ticket some places. This is probably the only time they're going to watch an NBA game. Maybe not just for the season, but for years to come. And you decide, I don't feel like playing. That's where they need to enforce some changes. But where does it start? It starts from the top. And who's in charge again? Adam Silver. How many times is this going to lead to Adam Silver? I don't know how this guy is still in the league. And anybody says that this guy is a great commissioner is delusional. The preponderance of evidence against this guy during his tenure as commissioner, from sloppy TV ratings to horrible all-star game to the gambling situation to such a plethora of issues thus far since he replaced David Stern has been awful. Do not tell me that this guy is a good commissioner. He is just there to manage. He is not there to lead. David Stern led. He was a bully, and he made it clear this is what he was doing. He didn't care what you thought, how you felt, and what you wanted to say. He just led. He had a job to do, and that was to put the league on the map, to put some structure, and that's exactly what David Stern did. The rest is history. This guy gets the keys to the car, and he's already doing all sorts of things to the car. He hasn't crashed it yet, but he's doing all sorts of crazy things. It's preposterous what he's doing. It's dude, you look at the situation, and I'm not bashing him personally. He's probably a great human being personally. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. I'm not judging him. I'm not judging his character, but his job as a commissioner. Just because you sign a couple $1 billion contracts, you think everything is good? What? That's not the objective here. The objective is to have a watchable product so people could actually turn their TV and watch. People have been watching the World Series more than they even think about the NBA season. There are people who are NBA watchers and have not watched a game yet, but have watched the entirety of the MLB playoffs because of the two teams in the World Series right now. Don't get mistaken. The Dodgers and the Jays are in the World Series for a reason because they're the two best teams in baseball, and that's why people are watching them. Do you think anybody wants to sit down and watch the NBA right now? Right now, when you look at the NBA at this moment, you got the Bulls who are 4-0. You got Philly who's 4-0. The Bucks are 4-1. And then in the Western Conference, you got OKC, of course, it just went 6-0 tonight. You got San Antonio, and I'm going to talk about Wemby for a bit in a few minutes. You know what I mean? Like, those are young teams that have built. San Antonio's always had that culture. And OKC, what Sam Presti has done, after he fleeced the Clippers in 2019 during the big free agency period, which I thought was one of the dumbest trades ever. And I said it clearly and still been proven. This guy still has picks. And look at the roster he's put together. If you think I'm joking, he just put himself in a position to be a Hall of Famer. And he just put a banner up in OKC. That's all I have to say. Look what this guy has done. Look what this guy has done. He has an attitude of an actual GM that wants to win, and he's winning basketball games. He goes out, he gets Alex Caruso in the offseason. He goes out and he gets AJ Mitchell, which is a complete unknown. And all of a sudden, this guy's coming in and dropping 15 a game. Isaiah Hartenstein, everybody knows about that free agent signing. I'm a Knick guy, and I was like, oh, damn. But the money was right there. You know, just a plethora of decisions he's made to put this team in a position to compete, to win a championship, which he did. And then now he's on the precipice of potentially putting his team in a position to compete for a back-to-back title. As of right now, I'm not saying they're going to, but as of right now, OKC looks like that team that went into the finals and won. I told people, look out for OKC. They were going to get over those kinks. I said it on my pod. Said it. Go back and look in the archives. Spotify, that's where it is, on the pod show by Beat Fact Music. And now look at them. And then you look at San Antonio with Wemby. Wemby's doing some amazing things. This man is probably going to get a triple double, and it's going to include blocks. He looks like a skinny kid, but this guy could do so many things, and he spent the offseason doing one of the greatest things for his career. He gave himself an opportunity to learn and to develop his mechanics, and also develop himself as a young man, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You saw the videos. It's not about attention. It was about you all seeing that this kid is about to be an elite star and a future Hall of Famer. So good thing for this kid. Good job by Wemby. Good for him. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy for him for what his offseason was. You know, then I see an offseason like, you know, Anthony Edwards, I have a good thing and I have a ugh for him. I love this kid because this kid could be great. But then the things that are happening in the offseason, which is such a magnet to these young players, especially the American players, it's not good at all. So I'm looking at that with him right now, and I'm like, oh, Anthony Edwards, you're about to fall off that train if you don't be careful. So you're seeing what's happening right now. Denver 3-1, doing their thing slowly. Golden State sitting around at 4-2. Minnesota right now is 2-3. Dallas is 2-3. Phoenix being 1-4, not a surprise. Look who they traded for. Look who they traded for. I've been talking about this Jalen Green Durant trade from the time it happened, and I'm never going to back out of it. They are 1-4. Anybody told me that Jalen Green was going to be the guy that was going to change this franchise besides Devin Booker was lying to themselves. Devin Booker signed a 2-year deal. You don't think he doesn't know he's going to be out of there soon? He's going to be around Jalen Green and who? No disrespect to Dylan Brooks. He's a Canadian boy, so you got to give my Canadian guys respect. Jalen who? Anyways, not happening. Phoenix is going to have a very, very long season with that roster. I said it before. If you're Phoenix, get the kid out. He ain't doing a goddamn thing for you. And then you look at the Eastern Conference, the Raptors are 1-4. I mean, I like Brandon Ingram, but the little stuff going on with him personally, with what's her name showing up for games, not a good look. Not a good look. Boston 2-3, of course, you know, Jason Tatum's injury has affected them. The Pacers, too, 0-4 so far. They lost Miles Turner for free agency. Halliburton's out for the year. What do you expect? I mean, yes, there's no excuses, but this thing could turn around. I think they can turn around. Rick Carlisle's the guy to turn around. Washington, they ain't doing anything. They're a dog house. Brooklyn Nets, they're exactly where they're supposed to be. Exactly where they're supposed to be, 0-5. I have no faith in that team at all. Detroit doing their thing at 3-2. Cleveland doing their thing at 3-2. Miami doing their thing at 3-2. And the rest is just continuation of how this season is going to go. The Clippers are 2-2. They could find something, but Bradley Beal is not the answer either. But that's a whole different conversation for another day. But yeah, that's just my thing. And I think the NBA right now is suffering. They're just suffering. I mean, I'm sure that some of these games have been watchable, but how much can you watch with all the other distractions? You know, the fame, the fortune, of course, the big contracts, the money being given out, guys taking breaks because they don't want to do back-to-backs. And, you know, I think Michael Jordan's going to hurt some feelings when he starts talking, because he doesn't seem like he cares about people's feelings when it comes to guys not playing. And I'm like that too. I got a lot of new school in me when it comes to, like, if a guy needs to sit, like as I said previously before, he should sit. But I'm not giving you a pass when you're healthy. When you say, "Oh, I'm ready to go," but then you're sitting, nah, you're not getting that from me. Not happening. So there's 3 teams that are winless right now, and I've mentioned them, just sparingly: the Nets, the Pacers, and the Pelicans. The Nets have no hope. The Pacers, they can turn it around, and the Pelicans, hope is just a myth to them. I don't know what Joe Dumars is trying to do, and I have a lot of respect for Joe Dumars, but this ain't Detroit. This is a hopeless situation with hopelessness written all over. They should rename their team to the New Orleans Hopeless. Because then, of course, New Orleans owned their picks. He traded both of them in June. And the picks that he traded are at odds to be top picks in the top 10 at least, even top 15. I know Joe D is trying to do something. I know he is, but you can't fix what's already broken. That is the Pelicans. Zion Williamson is not going to do anything for you at all. He's not. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't care. He just likes to check. He's got tattoos all over his body. He's on TV with chicks. These guys, it's time for basketball to go through a major cleanse. And I want guys to get their money. Zion got his money, and I want him to keep every damn cent, because these owners are dirty. That's a whole different show for another day, but you got to show up and play, and you got to want to play. We can't have Brandon Ingram having a 6-month ankle injury. Whatever. Come on, guys. The Nets, they just suck. The Pacers, we know what's going on. So, hopeless in New Orleans, coming soon to theaters in January of 2026. Next order of business for me, Klay Thompson. Megan Thee Stallion hasn't really helped you out, bro. Like, I'm not going to hate, but I'm just being honest. So far this season, 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. 10 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. 10 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Age has basically visited you. and it visits all of us. I don't know what's going on with him, but when the Klay Thompson that I know that went into OKC in an elimination game and absolutely went nuclear, that Klay Thompson has far disappeared from his side. This Klay Thompson is a Klay Thompson who is a veteran who soon could be sitting on the back of the bench. This is not the Klay Thompson everybody expected to be this season, although they have a lot of weapons with Kyrie, Cooper Flag, and of course Anthony Davis and other parts, but this hasn't worked out at all for him. So I like Klay. Excuse me. I love Klay. I like Klay. I think Klay is a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. He has done so much for the game in terms of his contributions as a TV guy. When you turned on the TV, when you saw this man play for Golden State, you knew Klay Thompson was about to give you something. And I mean, this season right now, he's 7 for 27 from the three-point line. So I just hope he gets it going. I know Megan Thee Stallion is a big part of his life now, but he's got to make some adjustments so he can get himself back on the, statistics sheet that actually is helpful and not damaging to his team. If anybody could do it, he can. He doesn't need to be 20 points. He doesn't need to be the old Klay Thompson. But if he could give you 15 points a game, that's it. That's good. A couple rebounds, a couple assists, he'll be fine. I think he will be. Dallas just needs to, get it going. It's early in the year, and that's really what the deal is. So, but folks, man, this is another edition of The Court, and I'll be doing another show sooner than you think. So, as I always say, I'm signing off. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and I'm out signing off. Peace. This was another edition of The Court.